Chase Wagner. I'm going to be showing you today a lesson I call the Gospel Blues. It's pretty much a 8-bar blues progression in the key of A. I use it all the time and I find it to be very useful, and I hope you do too. Let's get started. It's going to be in 4/4 time, and we're going to be using 16th notes mostly. 1 E and A. I've broken it down into little sections, one beat at a time, so I can show you both the right and left hand technique. Let's start with the first note, beat 1 here. We're going to have our thumb. We're going to play the 5th fret on the top E string. It's going to sound like that. That's going to be our 1. We're going to skip E, and we're going to go to and we're going to use this little pretty much A minor chord here. You're going to bar the first 3 strings on the 5th fret with your first finger. That's going to be our and. For we're going to use the bottom 3 strings muted. That's going to be our So we have 1, skip E, go to and that's going to be played with a down, down, up. So we got this. We got 1 E and 1 E and Okay, that's beat 1. Let's move on to beat 2. Beat 2 is going to be bottom 3 strings muted. That's going to be 2. E is going to be our little A minor chord here. Bottom 3 strings, first finger on the 5th fret. That's going to be our E. We're going to skip and in this beat. We're going to go to and that's going to be bottom 3 strings muted again. And that'll be And we're going to play down, up, up. So we got 2, E, and 2, E, and Okay, let's put those first 2 beats together. So we got 1, E, and 2, E, and Okay, let's move on to beat 3. Now this one's a little bit different. This is a triplet. You know, triplet, triplet. We're going to have the first, beat 3, is going to be that little A minor chord again on the 5th fret. That's going to be 3. That'll be a downstroke. And then we're going to do bottom 3 strings muted again for the paulette. So we got 3 paulette. So we're going to go down, up, down. So we got down, up, down. 3 paulette. 3 paulette. Okay, that's beat 3. Let's move on to beat 4. Going to do the little 5th fret bar again. Bottom 3 strings, first finger, 5th fret. We're going to go 4, except this time it's going to be a little different. We're going to use an upstroke there, and then we're going to use an upstroke again. So let's do that. We'll go beat 4 is up, okay. E is up, and is down, and is upstroke again. So E and are those bottom 3 muted strings. So basically we've got this. 4, E, and 4, E, and Okay. That's the end of bar 1. And that's our A chord. So, let me put it all together for you and play it kind of slow. Okay, that's bar we got bar 1 and 2 is A. So that's the same thing again. So let's move on to bar 3. This is our 4 chord, our D7. Basically, we're going to use a D7th chord here. We're going to use our second finger on the A string of the 5th fret. Okay, that's going to be our 1. We're going to skip E. We're going to go to and. We're going to place our 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the G string. We're going to mute the B string with that 3rd finger so it doesn't ring out. And then we're going to use our pinky on the 5th fret bottom E string. So we got and up. Those two are the same, and up. So we got 1 and up. Let's try that. 1, E, and up. So we got down, down, up. Okay. Beat 2 is pretty much going to be the same, except we're going to place our 2nd finger on the 5th fret of the top string. So we're going to have 2, E, and up. And the and is going to be the same as before. Okay. Now on beat 3, we're going back to the same thing again. 2nd finger on the 5th fret of the A string. Play that. That's 3, E, and up. Okay. 2nd finger on the 5th fret of the top string. Okay, that's 4, E, and up. So, let's put it together for bar 3, and it sounds like this. Almost kind of a country feel to it. Okay, so that's bar 3, our D7, or 4 chord. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the 1 chord for bar 4 and 5. So, we've already learned that one. We just play that twice again. Okay, that's bar 4 and 5. Let's move on to bar 6. Now what we're going to do here is basically we're going to walk down to the minor 6th chord. So we're going to have our little minor shape there. Okay, on the 5th fret, first finger, and that's going to be our 1. And then we're going to skip E, bottom 3 strings, muted notes again. And that's going to be the and up. So we got 1, skip E, and up. So let's try it. It's down, down, up. So we got 1, E, and up. Okay? 1, E, and up. Alright, let's move on to beat 2, bar 6. We're going to have this little chord. It's kind of neat sounding. It's going to be 2nd finger on the 5th fret of the D string. Then we're going to have 1st finger on the 4th fret of the G string. Just a little 2-note chord there. We're going to have the same rhythm. Down, down, up, 2, and up. So we got 2, E, and 2, E, and So let's put those two together. First beat. Okay. Now let's move to 3rd beat. Now we got a big chord here. We got the F minor chord. And what I'm doing is I'm using my thumb for the top note on the E string, on the 2nd fret of our top string here, 3rd finger on the 4th fret of our A string, pinky on the 4th fret of our D string, and then I'm going to use the 1st finger and I'm going to bar the bottom 3 strings of the 2nd fret. So we're going to have a chord that sounds like this. It's nice and big and full, and it's going to sound really good with this. So we basically got the same rhythm again, except this time we'll play a little differently. We're going to have 3, skip the E. We're going to go bottom 3 strings muted for the and, then upstroke on the of that big F sharp minor chord. So we got 3, E, and Okay. That's beat 3. Then beat 4 for measure 6. We're going to rest on the 4, and we're going to play E and with the muted strings. So we got 4, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke. And you can pretty much play, you know, in the middle for these muted strings. That's pretty much what I do. It doesn't really matter. So let's put it all together now. And I'll play it kind of slow for you. So we got 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and Okay, let me play it up to speed here. Okay, that's what it should sound like. Okay, that's bar 6. Let's move on to bar 7. Now basically what this is doing, it's walking up to our 5 chord, the E7. So, we're going to use some 8th notes here, and we're going to have our first finger on the 5th fret of our top string. That's going to be a downstroke. We're going to use our pinky on the 8th fret of our top string. That's also going to be a downstroke, so that'll be 1 and. Okay, 2 is going to be first finger on the 5th fret of our A string. That's a downstroke. And is going to be 6th fret of the A string, and that's going to be a downstroke. So we got 1 and 2 and. Okay, we're going to slide that second finger to the 7th fret on the A string, and that's going to be our 3. We're going to have a 16th note here again. That's going to be 3. We're going to skip E and we're going to play an with the bottom 3 strings muted, and that'll be a downstroke. So we got 3, E, and 3, E, and Okay. Then we're going to go to 4. This is going to be part of the E7 chord. We're going to have our 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the G string, our pinky on the 8th fret of our bottom string. Okay, that's going to sound like that. The B string is muted, and then we're going to slide down our pinky to the 7th fret. So we got our 3rd finger on the G string of the 7th fret and our pinky on the bottom string of the 7th fret. So that would sound like this. It'd go 4 and I'm using upstrokes for both of those. 4 and to kind of accent that, because that's a really cool part there. So let me play all of bar 7 for you. So we got 1 and 2 and 3, E and 4 and. Okay, that's slow. Okay, let me play it up to speed. That's a really cool, kind of almost jazzy sounding. Okay, let's go to our last bar, bar 8, and that'll be our turnaround. What we're going to do there is it's going to be like the first half of bar 1. We're going to have our thumb on the 5th fret of the top string. That's going to be 1. We're going to skip our E. We're going to go and use that little bar chord on the 5th fret with your first finger on the bottom 3 strings. That'll be and the bottom 3 strings muted. That'll be So we got 1, E, and 1, E, and Okay. Now beat 2, we're going to go bottom 3 strings muted. That's 2. And then E will be 5th fret, bottom 3 strings, bar all those. That's going to be our E. So we got 2, E. We're going to skip and bottom 3 strings muted again for the So we got 2, E, and 2, E, and Okay. Let's move on to beat 3 of bar 8. This one's pretty straightforward. We're going to have the E7 chord. So we're going to have 7th fret with your 2nd finger on the A string. We're going to have 1st finger on the 6th fret of the D string, 3rd finger on the 7th fret of the G string. So we got 3 notes there. And we're just going to play them 1 E and or actually I should say 3 E and because this is beat 3. So we're just going to go down, up, 3 E and okay, 3 E and then 4, beat 4, we're going to leave that out. That's a pause. Then for E and we're going to have the muted strings again. Pretty much play those in the middle. So we're going to have upstroke, downstroke, upstroke. So we go 4, E, and Okay. Now let's put this all together, nice and slow. Bar 8. 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, and 4, E, and Okay, let's try it once more. 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and Okay, that's bar 8. Let me play it a little faster for you. Okay, and that's the end of the 8-bar blues. So, to recap here, we got the first section, our A chord, that's bars 1 and 2. Bar 3 is our 4 chord, D7. We go back for bars 4 and 5 to the 1 chord again, the A. Play those 2. On our 6th measure, we walk it down to the 6th chord, that big F sharp minor chord. Okay? And then we're going to walk up in measure 7, or bar 7, sorry, to the 5 chord, E7. Okay? And then we're going to go to bar 8, which is our turnaround. Okay? And then it starts all over again. You pretty much can just keep playing that. I do all the time. You can add a lot of variations to it. It's a really fun one to play. I just love it. Let me play it for you up to speed. And make sure you listen to it and try to get all the rhythm parts right and the different downstrokes and upstrokes. It's really important. And once you get it, it'll just be like second nature to you. Okay, here we go.